Now, next essay is very interesting essay, and if you, yesterday also I told you that last year also such essay, right, it's not a quote, right, a generic statement is there. So last time also one essay was like this, when they asked that your women, they are burdened by your restrictions and men by expectation, both equally harmful discipline, right? So similarly, so you can always find a pattern in UPSC. Last year it was the first time when, apart from quote, one essay topic was little simpler in nature, right? And today in this year's paper also one topic, and it was at number 5 only, that your previous year also. So it means next year also you can expect one generic topic, right? Last time it came on gender equality, today this year it came on your social media, right? Anyhow, coming back. Now the question says, social media is triggering fear of missing out, right, which is commonly known as FOMO, amongst the youth, precipitating depression and loneliness, right? So this topic is mostly about how social media is creating unrealistic expectations, right, through which we always are in a perpetual mood that we are missing something. If I don't buy this latest phone, I will miss out something. If I don't buy this latest pair of sneakers, I will miss out something. If I not buy this, but even today, not just social media, UPSC aspirant also, you're always in that FOMO. If this book is bought by a friend, I'll also buy it. This book is getting famous, I'll also buy it. There's always you might not read it, but you become a book hoarder, right? Okay, this person has told this book, so you'll buy this PDF and you never even get a chance to read it, right? And also coming back, social media also creates this fear of missing out, right? This is now viral, this is now everybody is using, or everybody is going on vacation, or everybody is going to this restaurant. I should also go, otherwise I'll miss out something, right? And this constant rat race, it is precipitating depression and loneliness in the youth population. So we have to discuss these particular things. Now before we move on, here first aspect you will write down that if we talk about social media, the basic function of social media was to connect people, right? To bring different people together across the globe. So you start with a positive note. Don't start just with fear of missing out. So positive aspect. That major role of social media was to bring people together. Person sitting in India, in any city, can connect with other person. So it was created to increase the connectivity, right? Increase your reach, right? That was the basic purpose of social media. But through the years, it has generated the opposite concept of fear of missing out, which is in fact is creating isolation, right? You have 1,000 friends on social media, but in real life you do not have anyone with whom you can talk with, right? It was supposed to create a connection, but it is making you more and more isolated. You sit on the dinner table, instead of talking to your parents, talking to your sibling, you are there in your phone, right? It means you have formed a kind of a cocoon across yourself. You have just isolated yourself from the surrounding, and that too for a digital world, which is not even real, right? So if you're talking about your digital friends, they're not real, right? It's not that if you have 500 followers or 1 million followers, if you get sick, all the 1 million followers will be coming and taking care of you. No one will come, right? So this concept of social media, which was to bring people together, now it is creating different, it's creating isolation. We see every person engaged engaged in his or her mobile phones, right? So we are missing out on the real life because of it, and that creates a sense of, a constant sense of that I'll miss out something, because there is so much information, right? Every second you are just scrolling, day and night you're just scrolling your internet, right now your aspirants probably social media probably it should be very less, but all the time you are just scrolling the internet. It's true for everyone. One day I suddenly realized, I don't know if you would have realized, because when we scroll, our phone is like this, and this finger is usually here. So I see an indentation. I don't know if you have, because I checked it with my brother and my friends also. There will be an indentation here or across your finger. So we have become so addicted to our phones, so much addicted to our social media, that even our physically we are seeing some kind of changes, right? But in this essay you have to majorly focus on the mental aspect, right? And questions which you will be addressing is that why social media first of all is creating this fear of missing out, or how it is creating that fear of missing out, right? Then we will see that what is the impact on the mental health of the youth, how it is creating an impact. Then at the end we will cover few more questions also, just briefly, and at the end we will see what can be the solution to this, right? So end always a solution oriented. In quote based essays, solution might be little different, right? Say for example, if it's about working hard, so you probably your solution will be more on philosophical sense, how to do that, or question is about truth and integrity, so you'll write how to inculcate your truth or integrity. But this is a very specific topic. We'll see how to end or combat this feeling of FOMO, right? Now here in anecdote you can write a fictional story. I have written story of this, a person named Ria, right, who is scrolling through Instagram and her heart sank. Picture after picture showed her friends enjoying brunches, attending parties, taking exotic vacations. She hasn't seen them in months. Her work is consuming most of the time. Each post was a reminder what she isn't the part of, and what was worse, it felt like everyone was living a dream except her. This feeling is there with everyone. You always feel that everybody is having a perfect life and you are here stuck somewhere, right? And especially when you are in the student phase, when you're preparing for something, you'll find out friends, they're getting packages, they're getting married, right? They're going outside, they're having some vacations outside, and you're stuck here. And if you see the traditional life, right, this connection was not there, right? Ask your parents, right? They might have hardly one or two friends from their school or college life. That is also rare. And if you talk about women, that is also, your mother might not even have contact with any school or college, because she shifted cities, or probably some other city or metropolitan or village, anything. But today's life, people whom we didn't even talk in college or in school, they are in contact with us, right? So we have so many people to compare whose life didn't even matter to us at that point of time when we were studying with them, right? So now this creates an illusion that your life is bad and their life is very good, right? So in this case, what we are doing is we are comparing somebody's life's highlights with our whole life, right? So you might have seen in Instagram there is a circle where it tells, okay, these are the highlights, right? So they are just giving highlights of your life. You don't know when they went on vacation with their partner, they might be fighting there. You don't know that. No one will put a picture that they were fighting, right? Or they put across a picture of their, view outside of the hotel. You don't know what the room looked like. It might be a bad room, right? The AC might not be working there. So we do a mistake of comparing highlights of somebody's life. Nobody will give a bad highlight of their life. Social media as such, it is just about creating an illusion. People create an illusion that I am having best time of my life, right? That is why today there are so many cases when people commit suicide. Usually people say that, okay, he was very happy, yesterday only I shared a picture. But you don't realize that is something which is not the real picture, right? That is just a front stage. At backstage, what is happening, you don't know, right? And we do a mistake of comparing that front stage, that mask, with our entire life, right? So that is the major excuse me, that is the major reason why social media is creating that feeling of missing out, right? Anyhow, so like this, you can write down that, she's working and she sees her friends and, she feels trapped in the cycle of comparison, isolation, regret, loneliness, right? So this experience, it is not uncommon, it is very common in today's hyper-connected world. So social media platform, they have created an illusion that everybody is living a fulfilled life. That is not possible. Everybody is going through something at some point of time, right? Nobody will post a bad experience on their social media, right? And we cannot take anything which is being put on the social. And today you will find out there are so many social media influencers which people treat that, okay, they are perfect couples. In 2-3 months you find out they have divorced, right? So they were creating just content for you to consume, right? They were actually earning money when you were engaging with their content. That was not the real picture, but that is creating fear of missing out, right? That raises expectations also. They were creating content showing that, okay, my husband has gifted me this bouquet of flower or something. So your expectations also go up, right? So if somebody's spouse is not giving those flowers, which is not, I feel, essential for a good relationship, you will compare yourself. That her husband is giving flowers and not even getting a single 5 rupee rose. So this comparison social media has created, which was not there before. You will realize that people who lived before us, our parents or even our grandparents, they had a very fulfilling life, very content life, because that comparison was not there. Comparison, if even was there, it was probably with the neighbors or probably with the relatives, that's it. Now we have comparison with, the whole world. Not just your own 200, 300 friends on Instagram, Twitter or Facebook, but the entire world. The social media influencers have come up where we constantly compare ourselves, that how our life is going. We take it as a parameter and don't realize that's just a highlight, right? Just a curation of their life. You're curating your life on your social media. Now, next you write down this, that how social media is creating this FOMO, fear of missing out. You are comparing, like I told you, you highlight reels with the reality, which triggers these feeling that I am losing a lot of things in my life, right? So if I am not taking a vacation to a foreign place, I am losing out something. If I am not earning this amount of money, I am missing something in my life. If I don't have this particular phone, I am losing out something. So you compare somebody's highlights, right? Somebody might, there are people who just click their photos in front of a car and you start feeling that person has bought this car. Or they might take a phone from a friend and click a picture, you might feel that, oh, this person has bought iPhone. So this comparison is with highlights of somebody's life with your reality, which creates FOMO. Then constant connectivity, that is also creating, like I told you, in olden times this constant connectivity, instant updates are not there, right? Every second there is some new update which is coming up, which is leading you to this cycle of self-pity, comparison, right, where you feel you have missed out on your life. Those consistent connectivity creates this particular impact. Then culture of comparison, right, constantly comparing between things, right, that creates. So you might have taken a vacation in, say, some city, say you went to Ooty, right, and you had a best good trip you had, but suddenly you saw an update that somebody probably went to Paris, right? You start comparing, right? Probably this person might not have very good trip, right? There are so many things that might have happened in Paris, right? And you had a good trip, but you compare yourself, right? That Ooty is not a good place. You enjoyed there, you enjoyed the views, but you started comparing yourself. Then you fear of that missing out is there, that when will I go to somewhere, abroad? When will I go to Paris? When will I go to Switzerland? Right? So this culture of comparison creates that I've missed out something in my life, that I have not arrived yet in my life. Once I go abroad, then only I will feel that I will become successful. Till then I am missing out something in my life. Right? Then influencer and celebrity culture. Right? So this influencer and celebrity culture, again, they create false needs. Things which you don't even need. They create those needs. Right? And if you don't have those, they're not true in nature. Right? You don't need every day some new beauty product or skincare product, but they are creating that false need that if you don't use this, you will not have this particular thing. If you don't use this, you will not be respected in your friend circle, right? So they create these false needs which are not true in nature. You will not die if you don't have that one skincare product, right? But that need was created. That false need was created, and if you are not able to fulfill that, it creates a sense of FOMO, right? The influencers and celebrities, they add another layer to it. Previously, at one type, you are comparing with your friends, with your relatives, right? And now you are comparing with somebody you don't even know, right? That how beautiful her life is or his life is. He's just vlogging and making so much money, right? So you start comparing yourself with them through your celebrity culture. Then your endless scrolling, right? And your algorithm traps. You click on one thing, right? And you just get caught in that algorithm trap. Next day, all the ads will be related to that only. Right? That will create again a false need, right? Again a sense of missing out something if you don't buy that particular thing, right? So through these things, your social media is creating a sense of FOMO. The next also you can write down likes as a form of validation. If you went outside somewhere and till the time you post a picture, you don't feel like I have actually gone somewhere, right? Or you go on some trip unless a good picture comes, people don't start enjoying the trip. Once a good picture comes, then people put their phone aside and then now they are happy because they'll have some picture to post, right? So the likes, the digital likes, they are being taken as validation that yes, you have a good life. Yes, your life is perfect. So this creates a sense of missing out in people who are not able to go to those places. Their life might be good, they might be doing good with career, probably paucity of time or some familial responsibilities. They're not able to take some trip and they're not able to post some picture, so that likes are not coming or validation is not there. They might feel that they're missing out something in their life. Then fear of social rejection also. Social media creates an environment where users fear that if they do not participate in certain activities, right, they will be rejected, right? So, today you will see your Gen Z population, every day there is some new viral, reel is there to dance in certain way or to do some, certain target or something like that, some game you have to do. Everybody is doing. So if you don't do it, otherwise you will be socially rejected, right? So that also creates the sense of missing out and you start feeling anxious, isolated, depressed because of this, right? And so one thing about social media, which is the biggest problem today, is it is decreasing our attention span. Right? We are consuming so much content in microseconds. Every time we scroll very quickly, we are consuming a lot of content. Right? If you read a book, right? You read a book in a very slow manner. Over 1 hour, probably you will read 10 pages. right? But if you scroll your Instagram, you scroll your social media website in microseconds, one time you are here in Hyderabad and you don't know by the time you are in Pakistan and scrolling their reels, right? So the consumption of content is so high, it has decreased our attention span. That is why for aspirants social media is very bad, right? Today also you ask people, for 1 second they'll put their phone down, after 5 minutes there will be some itch to pick it up and scroll it. There is nothing in the phone, but there is that constant itch to pick up the phone and just check for the updates, right? So this is a problem which our generation is facing right now. Probably our parents are right, that root cause of everything is mobile usage, right? So this is even impacting our mental health and leave the youth population. See your younger generation, infants, they are also sitting in front of iPads, they're eating in front of iPads, right? So their attention span, you can imagine, right? I feel sometimes that we have studied and graduated at a very best time when no social media, no internet was there. Right now you can't imagine how these people will be able to focus on different studies or have that kind of attention span to actually sit and prepare for exams. And in fact that COVID time when online education was there, no exams were there, that has again created a havoc on a education system, right? So anyhow, so attention span is one of the very major thing which social media has created, lack of attention span, right? Then this illusion of perfect life, you can write down these points I have given. Then how FOMO affects your mental health. So it leads to anxiety and stress, right? You constantly compare with some person, you constantly see somebody's perfect life, you compare it, your achievements with somebody else's achievements, right? You compare your bad times with somebody's good times, right? So this creates lot of anxiety and stress, right? And the factors we have already discussed it creates a depression, right? It creates a situation of depression, right? Mental health, where constant comparison, right? It lowers your self-worth, right? There is a constant feeling of inadequacy. You always feel you are inadequate, you are not doing enough, right? You're not having enough things, you're not having enough comforts, you're not having the best life. So that low self-worth, that inadequacy creates mental health issues as serious as depression. Then it creates loneliness also, because once your social media validation becomes more important than your real life validation or real life relationships, you will find out you are left alone. You are just engrossed in your phone, and that too in a virtual world. Right, and this is going to get worse now when Apple has released those goggles, right? When we are talking about your virtual reality, augmented reality, slowly and slowly you will find out that human interactions will lessen down. We'll be more engrossed in the technology, more engrossed in the usage of social media, right? So people, they withdraw themselves, right? And also to prevent this feeling of FOMO, right, what they will do is they will withdraw from the friends group, they will withdraw from the family, right? So perpetuating the cycle of isolation. Then sleep problems. So social media, one of the the negative impact, it impacts the sleeping cycle. Circadian rhythm is disrupted. When you sleep, instead of, there are so many information that when you're sleeping, at least 1 hour before you sleep, your screen time, you should be away from any kind of screen. But instead of sleeping, we usually feel that when we'll use social media we'll get sleepy and then we'll sleep, and you don't realize once it's 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock at night, right? So this impacts a sleeping cycle also. So these are certain impacts which are there, right, due to your social media, which are created with the sense of missing out something, and they have an impact on our health also, on our mental health also, right? And there are so many examples where people have taken loans to fulfill or live that particular social life, right, to flaunt something, and when they are not able to pay, people have even committed suicide, right? Then so these are certain statistics, right? So about fear of missing out, 56% of people, they're afraid of missing something, even news, right? Important status update, right? So this sense is there when you are not using your social media. While you are using your social media also, there is a FOMO. When you keep your phone, then also there is a missing out, that something big might happen, some news might come, I'll miss some update, right? So this creates that feeling. You can use these statistics, right? Then you can explore that social media, it is making us more isolated, right? That social media was designed to connect people, or you can write it at start also, right? That because now superficial interactions are there, right? Now today interactions are only in the form of likes, right? Usually you might not call your friend in other manner, but you might call him saying that why don't you have liked my picture, right? So this superficial relations have been created because of social media. Then comparison, same things, comparison and low esteem, right? Then you can write about lack of face-to-face interactions have gone down. Then passive consumption. Instead of engaging with people, talking to them, you're just doing a passive consumption. Then substitution for real relationship. In fact, there's a very there's a very acclaimed movie. Just give me a second. So a substitution for real relationship is there. Isolation comes about, right? So these part also, this movie is there, Her, where a person is so isolated that he uses a app, a AI generated app. So there is an avatar of women. So he starts hallucinating and thinking that she is his girlfriend, right? So the entire movie is about that only, that how a machine and human contact is there out of isolation when you don't have real life relations. That's a very good movie. That same actor who was there in this recent Joker movie was there. I'm forgetting his name. So that person is there. So it shows how in future how our life would look like when we are so much, our real life relations are getting substituted by technological relations. Anyhow, now even our self-worth, you can write something about our self-worth also, right? That we need external validation, comparison trap, similar things. Identity crisis come up. You fear that you will be insignificant. There is perpetual dissatisfaction, right? And then even body image issue, body dysphoria. There is one term known as body dysphoria, where you're never satisfied about how you look, right? You might be thin, you might be fit, but you're never satisfied. You have body image issues, that this person is looking much better, I'm still fat, right? I still have, this much weight. So this creates a body image issues also. When you see all those celebrities so fit, right, wearing different kind of clothes, you start comparing yourself. You create those body images where you're not happy with yourself, right? That is also created by social media, right? Now, so if you see the olden times, usually the celebrity news used to come in magazines, right? And there used to be very few takers to buy those pictures or film magazines where you can look which type of clothes they are wearing or how they are looking, or going for a movie probably. Now constantly you know which person, which actor is wearing which dress and where they are going, which vacation. So it creates a sense where you start comparing yourself, not just life wise, but how do you look also, you start comparing with that. Then last is, how do you combat this FOMO? First thing, very important thing, is digital detox. I always make it a point in a month, at least 10 days, I go off on every social media accounts, right? Because right now I am on a digital detox. I swear it's a very peaceful life, right? It's like ignorance is bliss. You don't know anything, who is doing what, who is getting married, who is having a baby, who is going on a vacation. And it's very good. You get so much time for yourself, and you realize as soon as you wake up, you're just scrolling through your Instagram and you're just wasting time, right? So just try once. Right now, obviously you should not be there on social media. If you are preparing for UPSC, you have no space for social media, right? Just use your Telegram. When I was preparing, I was not even using WhatsApp. Right? Because again now WhatsApp is also, you have stories, etc. Like again wastage of time. Use a simple Nokia phone, concentrate on your studies, right? Telegram probably is useful obviously, right? So stay out of your social media, because again comparison law, you already have so much syllabus of UPSC to cover. Your brain doesn't have space for which celebrity is getting married to whom, right? So clutter out that particular information. Don't use social media. And once you clear exam also, always keep certain time where there is total digital detox. Never take few days, 10 days, 1 month, whatever you are comfortable. Then go back to your social media accounts. Give certain time for yourself also, so to sit down and think about your life, because social media doesn't give that time. Wherever any 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour you are free, you are again on social media scrolling the things. You don't have time to sit down and think about yourself, about your life, what you should be doing, right? So do that digital detox. That is very important. You can write it here, that digital detox should be there. Then mindfulness while you are exploring your social media. Keep limits on your app, right? Phones nowadays, they give you a limit, that when time limit gets over, your apps get logged out, right? So mindfulness, that okay, in a day my screen time will be around 1 hour, right? Or 30 minutes, right? As your schedule allows you. Other than that, I will not pick up, because that constant itch to pick up your social media just wastes your time, right? You are just scrolling mindlessly and not doing anything productive in nature. So that you can also include that how you can decrease this FOMO. Then try to practice gratitude, right? Whatever you have. Usually your psychologists say that do journaling. Journaling is where you write down every day any small thing you feel grateful for. You wrote an answer, you understood some concept, you helped someone, you ate your favorite food. Just be thankful for that, because there might be so many people in the world who are not even able to eat food. At least you got your favorite food today. So once you start practicing gratitude, you realize you have everything in life, right? There are people who do not have food to eat, shelter over their head, right? If you have food, if you have shelter over your head, you are the most happiest person. So try to practice gratitude in your life. That will also lessen this feeling of FOMO, right? And instead of comparing, just be happy for the other person, that he is living or she is living that life, and probably at some level you might also be able to afford that kind of lifestyle. Then focus on authenticity, right? Rather than curating a life which is fake in nature, right? Which is funded by loans, which is funded by extravagant expenditure. Focus on authenticity, that this is who I am, right? This is how I am, this is where I live, these are the cities where I go for vacations. It's okay. Once you are authentic with yourself, you will feel a lot of confidence, you will feel a lot of self-worth and peace in your life, right? So these things you write down at the end by telling that how you combat this feeling of fear of missing out, which has been generated through social media, right? Are we clear here? So this essay has a lot of things to explore. Why it is happening, what is the impact on mental health, what is the impact on self-image, right? And then how to combat it. And in between also generic things about social media, that why it was created traditionally to connect people, but now it is doing the opposite work, right? Are we clear here?